So here is the tortoise portion of our farm tour. This is Tucker the tortoise, and he is 7 or 8 years old and about 40 pounds. We got him from a rescue, and his story is basically that he lived his whole life with some other women, and he had a sister tortoise too, and he was the mischievous one who was probably testing fences and all that. That's about all tortoises can really do to be mischievous, is dig under fences or dig large holes that you end up stepping in. But it's fairly common. It's just what tortoises do, because these are desert tortoises and they're made to dig. They have really interesting front legs that are basically like shovels they use to dig holes. And our friend who had a really large one said that he dug 6-foot deep holes in her backyard in the city. But Tucker so far only digs a hole to sleep in, and he puts himself to bed around 5 p.m. and digs his little hole and burrows himself in and covers himself with dirt, and then he's good to go. And he actually has this little doghouse lid here that he, let's see, right there, that he sleeps in. So he goes in there and he's already created the hole in there, and he's very safe. We just have to bring him in if it's under 50 degrees because he is a desert tortoise, and so he doesn't do cold well, and it can really affect their respiratory systems. And we don't want that for him, so we bring him inside anytime it's cool. And he has a little heating pad he can lay on, and when I say inside, I don't mean in our house, because we did try that the first week and it was terrible. Don't bring tortoises into your house. Not a good idea. They poop a lot. And he was in the bathtub for a day, and that was good enough for us to say, no, we're not gonna do that anymore. So he stays in the shed when he needs to, and he lives in with the hay, which is not his favorite thing ever. He really likes to be outside, but we take good care of him because he can live, I think, about 100 years. Is that right? They don't exactly know, which is interesting too, because tortoises have not lived in captivity for a long time, and so they don't really know the lifespan of these guys when they're in their, you know, a more sheltered environment, and not their home area. So we'll see how long he has, but he can get around 100 pounds too, and like I said, he's 40 now. He's pretty hard to carry. I carried him once, but usually it's Christine who will pick him up and carry him to the shed. And he doesn't like to be carried. He goes in a wagon sometimes, which is cute, and he does seem to like that better. But he has a really cool personality. One reason we chose him from the rescue was that she said he was a lot friendlier than some of the tortoises, and we really wanted a friendly one because we like to have farm tours, and it's just more fun having friendly animals, right? So we thought he was okay the first few weeks, and then, you know, he's like, he does his tortoise thing. If I walk over to him right now, he's probably going to stick his head in a little bit, because the approaching, yeah, he's not really quite sure of people approaching him, but if I were to sit in here, he would eventually come over to me. And we had visitors, we had farm visitors, and they sat down in here, and we just thought we would sit near him, and he went crazy. He was so excited to have friends. He ran over to us as fast as a tortoise can go, and he sat right in the middle of everybody, and he just loved it. He had so much fun with all the attention he got. We'll see if he'll be friendly with Christine. It's so cute to see him running because he actually can move pretty fast, and he has like a hydraulic system where he goes up, where his shell's in the air and his legs are under him, and it's so cool to see him taking off after whatever it is he wants. Usually it's a friend. And so the way he listens too is really interesting. Like, I don't know if you can see his little face right now, but he's listening to everything I say. And the way my friend talked about her tortoise that she had prior to having kids, it just seems like they have the wisdom of a tree or something. They're very, or an elephant, I guess. He's very elephant-like. They just have a lot of wisdom, and if you sit with them, you can just feel it and how wise they are, like any ancient animal. But he, like I said, he's only 7 or 8, so he's wise for his years. But he listens to everything, and my friend with the tortoise experience told us when we first got him. She said, just go sit with him and tell him all about who you are and all about your other animals and your farm, and he will totally listen. And he did. He just totally, look at his little face. He's just taking everything in that I'm talking about, and it really seems like he understands, you know, in a way that tortoises do. And we had a Reiki friend over who is an acupuncturist, and she said he was a psychic tortoise and could understand what everyone is thinking and all that. But he's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy, and he's also a vegan, also meaning the goats. But the tortoise eats grass as well, just like the pigs do. He can survive solely on the grass in here, and he has this huge area to live in. And now the pigs are in here as well, but he had it all to himself. Tortoises don't usually do well with other tortoises, so it's fine to have just one. But you do need to know what you're getting into before getting one, because it is a lifelong commitment, and it's an animal you want to put in your will. And like I said, they like to dig out, so a lot of city people have trouble keeping them contained, and they make a mess of your backyard if you're particular about how it looks. But that is Tucker.